Welcome to VGC's preview of LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Did you hear that? They shut down the main reactor.
LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga feels like an incredibly deserved last dance for one of the most celebrated licensed franchises in gaming. There are few stories that have been told as many times across as many different mediums as that of Star Wars. The shot of the Tantive IV flying into the distance, only for it to be dwarfed by the Star Destroyer overhead, is as iconic as any in the history of cinema. And as such, it's been replicated in games countless times, each with slightly better graphics or with different twists to make it unique, but it's essentially still the same shot. However, with LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, TT Games aren't only recreating a story that's been told 1,000 times, for 7 of the 9 Star Wars films included, it's a story they've already told themselves. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is being billed as the ultimate LEGO Star Wars game, and after playing it for an hour it's easy to see why. The game features levels and mini open worlds from all 9 of the films in the saga, including The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, neither of which have been tackled in previous LEGO games. So, the first question we had when approaching the demo was, how is it different? Sure, they can't change the story of Star Wars, and in fact we're shocked about just how much bending of the rules TT Games seem to have gotten away with, but they had to do something to make it more than just a remaster of levels that first appeared on the PlayStation 2. Our demo began appropriately with Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, and it's quickly clear that this isn't simply a retread. Firstly, there are references to films that didn't exist when the original trilogy was last depicted in LEGO. Darth Vader appearing in the shadows at the end of a corridor, illuminated only by his lightsaber. Sure, this incorporation of Rogue One isn't 100% canon for the levels based on Episode 4, but it works well, and since Rogue One, Solo and the more recent Disney shows aren't getting full depictions, it's nice to see them even if it's just for a wink and a nod. The biggest change to LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is the gameplay. LEGO games have got a bit of a reputation for all being very similar. Smash everything, move on, solve a simple puzzle, smash everything, and continue to smash everything. Within minutes in the Skywalker Saga, you're aiming down sights with a blaster, which in the context of a LEGO game feels incredibly refreshing. Sure, it's not the most sophisticated twitch shooting in the world, but it's fun and the enemies react to where you shoot them, so it's far less mindless than the bashing of the old games. This is part of the Skywalker Saga's new class-based system, which makes the characters you play feel hugely different. Jedi can use the Force and wield a lightsaber, whereas heroes such as Han Solo and other blaster wielders can aim down sights and gain a tactical advantage with certain interactable elements in the environment. All of these characters' classes have skill trees that can be unlocked using special bricks that are earned via achieving true Jedi rank on a mission. This, as fans of the series will remember, involves collecting an overwhelming number of studs in each level. But now for the first time the true Jedi meter is split up into 3. It could be incredibly frustrating in past games when it would feel like mindless busywork switching between characters to progress through a puzzle that only had one solution. But in the Skywalker Saga, some puzzles now offer multiple solutions, allowing for a bit of differentiation in gameplay. This usually means taking an A or B path that will end up in the same place, but if you're playing solo, it means that you can focus on a character you enjoy, rather than having to constantly switch off to play as someone that you don't. There are still moments where R2-D2 will have to do a bit of hacking or C-3PO will need to talk to a computer, but they're few and far between. When starting up the game, you'll be presented with all 9 films in the saga split into the 3 trilogies. You can play the trilogies in any order, but you need to start with Episode 1, Episode 4, or Episode 7. The films appear to be broken up into around 6 levels per film, but between levels are the open areas that are teeming with side quests and collectibles. After escaping the Empire and landing on Tatooine, we weren't forced to progress the story and head out to find Ben Kenobi. Instead, we could explore the area around Luke's home, talking to characters and taking on odd jobs. These replace the hub areas like the cantina from the old games and are a very welcome change, especially since some areas that you'd absolutely want to visit aren't going to be given full levels. All of these open areas also look great. Where possible, the game is made from authentic LEGO bricks, which might seem like an odd thing to point out. A lot of the old LEGO games were made up of environments that either weren't authentic LEGO bricks, or simply made up of a few LEGO elements in more of a generic video game level. While some areas are still like this, the open mission on the Tantive IV is comprised exclusively of real bricks, meaning if you had enough, you could theoretically recreate the level in real life if you had literally thousands of pounds worth of Lego. The Lego itself has never looked better, with great lighting, reflections and more, bringing the world to life. The facial animations of the characters have also been greatly improved, calling to mind something closer to the Lego movie than the previous games. Whether or not Lego characters should talk has been a point of contention, and while the Skywalker Saga will include a mumble mode, which makes all the dialogue sound like the old games, your first playthrough of the Skywalker Saga will feature fully voiced cutscenes. We found that while some of the sound-alikes weren't 100% perfect, all of the jokes were delivered well, and we found ourselves loudly laughing multiple times during our demo.
I'm sorry to bother you. He just...
What was that? Nah, it's nothing. Maybe it's another drill.
Come, my friends, must be swift and silent.
After playing the game for an hour, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga feels like the team at TT were asked, if you only get to make one more Star Wars game in your life, what would you put in it? And the answer appears to be everything. It's celebratory not only of the Star Wars franchise, but of the legacy of LEGO Star Wars in a way that those who grew up playing the PS2 games or collecting the LEGO sets will find incredibly charming. Not only that, but for what is likely the last time the IP is tackled in LEGO form for at least a while, they've made great strides to make sure this game feels fresh and much more interesting to play than previous entries. We can't wait to explore all 9 films, and that includes The Rise of Skywalker, because if our time with A New Hope is anything to go by, there's an overwhelming amount of galaxy to explore.
Look out! What is that thing?